Good morning, everyone, and thanks a lot for joining me during this bipolar weather that we have in the north, where one day I'm working on air conditioners, and a day like today I'm going to be working on a rooftop unit that is not heating. And this one should be interesting because I believe that they're Trane Voyagers there, which I don't think I've shown you guys any service calls on the Voyagers, so this should be fun. I haven't seen too many of them. Based on the description, they said that it's not igniting and it's not blowing any air at all, so we'll see what's going on over there. But speaking of Voyagers, this kind of brings me back to actually about a year ago. I don't know if you guys can see, but I have a couple scars there. Not too gnarly, it healed pretty quickly, but I ended up getting, I think, like 8 stitches or something from a Trane Voyager heat exchanger. It was a pretty big guy. I'll see if I can pop up the picture of me standing next to it. It was actually really fun changing out the heat exchanger on it. You know, it was a good learning experience. But what happened after all of that, we came back to the shop and we had to dump it in our metal dumpster. And it was, you know, really big and awkward, and my coworker and I decided, let's use the momentum and just roll it into the dumpster. That wasn't a very good idea, because as soon as we got it ready and started rolling it, it started to roll towards me. And I saw it coming towards my face, so my instinct was to hold up my arm as kind of like a shield, and it peeled off some of my skin, and there was just a little flap. Not a big flap, but just like a little flap. And I was just cussing up a storm. If anything, I was just irritated and angry, you know, just blood dripping on the pavement and everything. And I started walking back and saw my supervisor, and he saw the skin. He's, oh, just pull it, just pull it. And I tried, I was like, oh my God, this is actually real flesh. So went inside, my other coworker helped me clean it up, and we bandaged it and everything like that. And I was really concerned about that flesh, so I eventually went to urgent care after work, and sure enough, got like about 8 stitches. Luckily, it did end up healing pretty quickly, so I was able to get the stitches out within a week or two. For a year, it actually healed up really nicely, and just a couple battle scars. So if you guys have any HVAC battle scars stories, let me know down in the comments as well. But without any further ado, let's get to the call. I got the ladder all set up, so let's get up there. Well, ladder is a tad short. Usually I like it to extend a little bit more over the edge, but we're gonna tie it down when I get up there, so it'll be safer. Should be a good tie off point. There we go. Alright, so all of these are Trane Voyagers. Pretty sure this one was like similar size to what I replaced the heat exchanger on. This one isn't the problem though. He said it was one of the smaller ones, so it's gotta be one of these two. Already cranked up the thermostat, so one of them should be trying to run. This one is heating. Blower motor sounds like it's running. Well, I double checked the work order. This is the right one, but it's heating. But let's open it up and see if we can see anything weird. Maybe there's a dirty flame sensor and that's causing intermittent failures. Who knows, since they haven't had heating maintenance done by us. See that they've replaced the igniter before. These don't look very plugged. Usually these get plugged out. We'll shut it down and see if it'll retry. See the igniter glowing. And it ignited. Huh. Maybe I should hit the thermostat for the other one too, just in case. That one over there. Maybe someone got them mixed up, who knows. I confirmed that this is the right one with the owner, and he's convinced it's a bad igniter. It's working every time, but we'll test it. And he said he wants to replace regardless. So, see if we find anything. Let's just take it out. Ugh. It is pretty crusty. Ugh. Yeah, let's test it. $115 ohms. It's definitely not testing low. It's kind of a weird style though. I don't think I have this size. I mean, this is the other igniter that was just hanging in there, and it doesn't look as bad as this one. Let's test it. Yeah, 113 ohms. So I'm not sure. I mean, looks old. I'm not sure if it's just been sitting here as a spare, or this was the other one. Because he said that he's had the igniter replaced a couple times on this one. So with both of these testing good, they also act as flame rectification. As you can see, there is like no flame sensor in here. So with them being dirty, I guess technically it would make sense if it ignited just fine, because it's testing fine. But since they're dirty, then the flame could cut out due to that. And that's probably why he kept on having them changed out. So I'm not sure if there's a way to test flame rectification, but I'm going to try to call tech support to see if they can help me out with that, just because I've never done that before. Either way, we'll probably replace the igniter. I don't have it, so we're going to have to order these, just because we don't really run into Voyagers very often at all. But I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. The customer is convinced that it wouldn't ignite at all in the first place, which is kind of confusing to me. But seeing the condition of this, I guess it would make sense that this could cause maybe the flame to go out pretty quickly, and it's just not happening at this second. Well, this all makes more sense. It was a good thing I talked to tech support to, educate myself a little bit more on these. So apparently the ohm readings that we were getting were not good. We should only expect it to be between 50 to 80 ohms on these. So that's one red flag. And second, we can test flame rectification as well at the control board. So I'm going to try to find the flame signal port on there. And he said that should be between 2 to 4 volts DC. So let's see if we can find that. All right, I believe I see their flame check. So just for fun, let's put the igniter back in and see what DC voltage we get. Because again, it is working right now, but if we can get some more data, and again, this is just stuff that I want to learn, then it'll be worth it. Yeah, put that back in. And maybe I'll use my alligator clips to be hands-free so I can watch the meter. And turn it back on and wait for the delay. Reducing motor's going. Oh, probably turn on the gas. Let's see what we get. Igniter's glowing, and we have ignition. Now we're getting 5 volts DC, which is looking really good right now, I guess. It's been working for me just fine, and he said a few days ago it wasn't heating at all. So especially with it in that condition, we'll just replace the igniter. We are out of there, got off of the roof safely, and the office is working on getting that igniter now. Yeah, I mean, this was a fun learning one. Again, I've only worked on one other Voyager, and it was just for that heat exchanger, so it was kind of fun seeing especially multiple Voyagers out of one place. And I worked on the AC side of them, but that's all kind of universal. It was kind of neat to learn from tech support to understand how this igniter works and how to properly test the igniter. Again, these are things where I just wanted to take you guys along my journey, because I'm still learning, and I just want to show you the ups and downs, because that's the reality of it. And for the younger guys that are watching, I hope that you learn something as well. And for the more veteran guys, I'm sure that you guys have worked on Voyagers plenty. If you have any tips or advice, please let me know down in the comments, because I definitely read those and appreciate them, because I'm just trying to absorb all the information. Anyways, appreciate you guys watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe as well. And as usual, I'll see you guys in the next call.